Hello everybody, it's crypto day. This is a S19 Pro 110 terahash. I'm getting high class here. I'm upping my standards, so up yours. I've taken my video cards that were hanging in a rack and running in a milk carton and put them in a real rack. I've got one of these installed and I'm going to be installing a second one. Thought I'd kind of share this with you as I went along and unbox this here miner. And while I was doing that, I thought I'd kind of explain to the people who don't really know what this is and what it does, because I know the people who do know what this is are probably kind of excited right now, because this is a pretty major investment. This is about the cheapest I've seen them advertised is $12,000 online, and a lot of times you're lucky to get them for that. So, this is a Bitcoin miner. It does mine actual Bitcoin, whereas my other miner, right there, the one that I'm working on is an Ethereum miner, or it can be used to mine a lot of things, but Ethereum is what people usually use it for. But I've mentioned it before, Ethereum's going to stop mining and Bitcoin will be mining, forever. So what is mining? Whenever you have a digital currency or any kind of ledger like that you need to keep track of, you have to have somebody process the transactions and move the numbers on the ledger. And there's a couple ways to do that. The Bitcoin way is they use these miners, and they basically guess numbers until they come up with a number that was randomly generated based on metrics to make it either harder or easier to discover. And that's based on what is needed for the network to function with proper speed and with the number of miners that are available. So that's what this does. Another way is, and this is, what is this? This is proof of work. This is called proof of work mining. Another way is proof of stake. These are people who take a large amount of the currency and they hold it. And because they're huge holders, they earn the right, basically, to process the transactions. So that's a very basic version of thinking about it. The basic way. And Bitcoin is a proof of work currency. So whenever, it's a heavy stick. That's not the way to unload it, by the way. So whenever somebody does a Bitcoin transaction, it essentially comes to a bank of machines like this. And they guess the numbers until one of them has a winner, and then they get to actually write the ledger and complete the transaction. What that does is it makes it to where Bitcoin doesn't have a leader. There's nobody that controls it. Everybody controls it. Anybody who has a miner or is in on a mining pool gets to have a portion of control in the network. So that means that governments can't mess with it. Nobody can mess with it. You probably heard that this is one of the things people like about Bitcoin is that it's sort of anti-government. The creator was anonymous to begin with, and he's missing now. They haven't heard from him in a long time. So yeah, it stands alone. We like Bitcoin. Something like Ethereum has been proof of work, which is why we have the miners, but they are switching to proof of stake as of next year, and there will be no miners. There won't be any need for that unless you're going to mine a different kind of coin. So, I don't know, that's two different ways of running it. The thing about Ethereum is that it's centralized enough that somebody could essentially shut it down for the most part once it goes proof of stake instead of proof of work. So, keep that in mind. Not all cryptos are created equally. They derive their values in different ways. Ethereum has a lot of good projects on it, which is why it's growing. And then there's something like this. This is a air sensor. It detects, what do we got here? 5 different metrics: temperature, humidity, CO2, CVCCs, and parts per million, you know, basically contaminants in the air. It reports it to a international database. The Planet Watch, the company who takes care of the reporting and works with the data, they then sell the profit for you know, they sell the data for profit, and you get paid for it essentially. The value of the token goes up, and you can sell it or hold it or do whatever you want with it. It's called Planet Token. And I have one upstairs that's already installed. I make about, I think it was $7 a day with that one upstairs in the Planet Tokens there. I think I get 17 Planet Tokens or 20 Planet Tokens a day, and they are worth around 35 to 40 cents as of today. It's a good coin to hold in my opinion, because it's not on many exchanges yet. Not many people are buying and trading it, but it has a great use. This concept and this type of mining is really cool. So, you know, this doesn't actually process any transactions. This is a different kind of mining. They're paying you for the data this is collecting, essentially. Then there's helium mining, which is the Wi-Fi stuff I've talked about in the past. So anyway, this is just a really short concept video, and I will be getting more into each one of these as we go. But I want to get this the rest of the way open. I got this from a company out of Chicago who was sort of suspicious. I didn't tell anybody really, except for my close friends, that I was ordering this, because I was really worried that I was wiring over $10,000 overseas and that I'd never see it again. But Hashlake, I'll rip the tag. Hashlake is who I got this from. They have Illinois registered LLC. I did a lot of work researching them, but their address goes to like a UPS store or something. Yeah, anyway, that's their. You'll see them on Facebook if you look around. But if you're wondering about them, I can set you up with them. They're actually legit. I did a lot of research where there was only like 3 people who had done any business with them. And I called them and talked to them, and as you know, as you can tell from the way I'm talking, I kind of did a lot of research on them to try to figure out, okay, yeah, I'll have to get those plugs, to try to figure out if they were legitimate. And in the end, I still never really could decide, other than they passed my gut check, and they sent me some references that I was able to look into a little bit and see that they were making their deliveries. So this video is also kind of for them, because there's a lot of people that just don't really know if they're legitimate or not. But here it is. Where's the box? I'll show you the label on the box, just for those folks. Let's see here. I don't want to overshare. So anyway, I got the label all taken care of on that. And now let's look at this bad boy. I've never had a Bitcoin miner. I've got it set up in the bong. I shouldn't have any trouble running it. Got my 220 out there. This is supposed to mine, after cost, around $18 a day, after electric expense. So, sort of a money tree. Bitcoin is sort of low right now on its charts, and we're hoping that after maybe a little bit more of a drop, but really soon, we're going to be going back up again. It looks good for it. The metrics are there. I'm excited about it. So really, this $17 a day right now is really, really encouraging in my point of view, because it's not going to go much lower than that before Bitcoin starts going up. And I really think that we're at lows that we might not see again. Maybe ever. You know, when will we see 20,000 again? Remember when that was a big, you know, the very peak, and it was huge on the news, and it just disappeared, and then we hit 35,000 before anybody knew it. And I mean, if it hits 20,000 again, I think anybody would buy it. So I do have a little bit of experience with another miner. Basically, I'm borrowing from a friend. It's about half the size. If you're just looking at the fan, it's about the size of that fan, and about the same depth as far as the case goes. It eats almost 2/3 the amount of power of this, but this is 110 terahash. The one running up there, I think, is like 15. So it's making $2 a day or something ridiculously small, and it's heating the whole place up. Still, it was a good primer for this. I kind of know what the software looks like and how to run it. So in my next video, I've got 3 videos worth of stuff here, but in my next video, I'll probably talk about the setup on this one, because it's all done. And then I'll go into this sucker, and that's actually going to be for sale. So when I do a video on it, it'll be showing it off because I want somebody to buy it. I'm gonna get out of this kind of mining. I want to go to something that's more industrial, because I want to be able to do submersion cooling and scale up. And I'm going to have opportunities for people to get in on this with me. So seriously, if this is something you're interested in, drop me a line, let me know. I'm going to be able to sell portions of miners, so sort of like hosting, but it's going to be really local. There's software already built into these to where it will send money in as many different directions as you want as it's mined. So I could sell a quarter of a miner theoretically. So I just got to work out how to do that. And if that's something that would be of interest to you, let me know. I'm sold on this stuff. It's going to be probably a quarter of what I do as far as investment and my work for a while, because I'm nerding out on it. I'm excited about it, and it's working for me so far, and I see a future in it. So talk to you guys soon.